Stitch Heads with Stitch Gang the Tour Part 16. Today, as we speak, whatever day it is, but it's the 4th anniversary of Rich Gang the Tour Part 1, our namesake. Tyrone, how are you reflecting today?
I'm honoring the Rich Gang the Tour Part 1's existence by listening to a lot of Casey Musgraves. So,
hell yeah.
It's a good thing, man. It's a good thing.
I'm not listening to it at all because it's not on Spotify. So get on that, Birdman. I would love to listen. Wait, sometimes it's on there, but I think it's like fans uploading it and then Spotify takes it down. But I think officially,
oh really?
It's
I
not.
didn't.
Yeah, every once in a while it'll be up there, and then I'll be like, "Hey, check this out," and then it'll be gone. But
That's stupid. Who's keeping this from like happening?
Bullin in a bando with a few bitches.
Golden turlets.
Golden turlets, yes. Gold turlets and chandeliers. I want gold teeth so I can talk like that. Also be Southern, probably, but
You should just get like one for one of your canines.
yeah.
That'd be kind of tight, honestly.
Yeah. Stitch Gang was pretty. I mean, not Stitch Gang. Stitch Gang is special, but Rich Gang was. It was actually special.
It's even more special. And you know what? You know what's real fucking tragic is that Lifestyle never got like a proper like release in that sense. Like we never got part 2.
Yeah, I never got.
Like I have to watch it on YouTube or like download it through other means, you know?
Yeah, YouTube's MP3. Also, what's tragic is that Rich Homie Quan called someone a fag and then said, "Looking like Young Thug with your gay ass." That's really the tragedy, the post Rich Gang tragedy. So I don't know if Gucci Mane's offering a bounty for a new Stitch Gang mixtape. I keep saying Stitch Gang. Fuck. All right. For a new Rich Gang mixtape. I don't know if he knows about this. Maybe he's gonna get them together and then he'll have to mediate that first.
It would be really cool if they did because they've been really well.
I think Gucci Mane
Quan
should
has
be
been
like
releasing some good stuff.
Gucci should be like, so like, what is it about thuggers' clothes that like make you uncomfortable, Quan? And then Quan would,
and he would be like, "It's the cut of his jeans, man. I don't understand it. They're too slim.
They're too slim.
Like,
I don't get those
like,
dresses, man. I don't get it." It's like, come on. He's expressing himself.
I don't even know.
You know how his rapping is weird? His gender expression is weird. And that's okay, isn't it?
And you know what would link them two together is their homophobia as well.
Yeah, what if they just went, yeah. Yeah, if Young Thug was just like, yo, I think I'm gay as fuck too, and I also hate myself. Then
I also say bad things about homosexuals, so it's all good.
And then Rich Gang the Tour Part 2. I wonder if it would be called, no, I wonder if it would be called Part 2 or if it'd be called like something. What if Gucci Mane were he did it and then he was the Birdman? That'd be kind of cool.
That would be kind of chill.
Like
yeah.
Gucci just talking real slow over a few of the tracks. Got Zaytoven instead of London on the track or something. Anyway, I think if we ever do like special, I want to keep this as like contemporary as possible to be like, you know, we're talking about like what's happening now. But if we ever start doing retrospectives, that's definitely going to be the first one.
So is that is it 3 years old now?
4 years.
4? God damn. That's crazy. That's how ahead of its time that release is.
Yeah. Happy anniversary, Birdman, Rich Homie Quan, and Young Thug.
I really wish they would just put aside the bullshit, man.
Yeah, dude. It's probably like label stuff and all kinds of stuff now. Not even just like them thinking each other is gay. What if they each think the other one is too gay? Because Rich Homie Quan, if you try to look up the Quan on fucking YouTube, all the videos are like Rich Homie Quan exposed, and it's just him dancing in like skinny jeans. So it's possible they're both homophobic against each other at the same time, and that's why they can't collaborate.
Is it just like stills? Is it just like segments from the ooh 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 video?
No, it's like him performing at like live shows. Because I like looked up. I was trying to learn how to do the dance. I like got
trying to hit the quan.
Yeah, I got like halfway there. But there's just so I was trying to learn how to hit the quan. And all the videos. I watched this like 10-minute like video where he was exposed for dancing. Because you can't dance or you're gay. And it's so funny that he's like,
I'm the belle of the ball if that's the case.
Yeah. It's hilarious that he's like calling people gay slurs and he's getting exposed on YouTube
for dancing.
We're trying to come up with some YouTube content. I'm gonna do the God's Plan reaction video, but maybe also I'll start exposing rappers too.
We'll need to put you in front of a green screen and then like have it be like random street footage.
I'm gonna expose. I don't know. I'll find someone to expose.
You're gonna need to comment on Lil Xan's comments about Tupac.
As you know, my name is Frank Rodriguez. I'm the host of Stitch Gang the Tour. With me, as always, my co-host DJ Drinkman, FKA DJ Truly Ocean. He's a black belt in the Crystal Trail fighting system. How's training going?
It's great. My knee isn't like all shitty, which is tight, and I'm knocking on wood. And it's great. I mean, like I was saying in the last episode, I am helping some friends get ready for a Muay Thai tournament next month. So I'm not competing. I'm just sparring and helping like coach some of them. So all I get to do is just make other people feel miserable. So it's great. It's what I excel at, really.
If you ever fought, I would want to get you some like custom shorts that say like Stitch Gang on the waist. Mm-hmm. That'd be sweet. Faux fight short boxers would be a good merch. With probably be pretty expensive, but James wears like Thai boxing shorts as like boxers, like walk around pants.
Yeah, I feel really weird about wearing those like outside of the gym. Because like usually like you wear like Thai shorts and it's like some people will know what they're for, and I just feel like a fraud. But like once I had to play a show right after I got done training, and I showed up and like played in my Thai shorts, and I felt like a fraud.
Wait, why do you feel like a fraud?
Just because, I mean, well, I'm just like I'm like a pretty modest person. Oh. And I'd rather not like talk about.
You feel like a poser, like you're like telling people like, oh, I can kick your ass.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would never say that outside. Well, I would never say it to anybody I respected,
Okay.
But like outside of that.
That's why,
but no.
That's why I like you, for the listeners, you don't tell me to tell everyone that you have a black belt. I just say it to like give us more credibility and stuff.
Yeah. Well, hopefully one day when my DJ career takes off, that won't be, one of them. Or when I become a complex news correspondent, you can just put that in there. When I become a head writer at
He's a
senior
at BuzzFeed correspondent at Complex Media.
And that would be mostly just because of my age, because I'm sure I would be working alongside like 22-year-olds.
Anyway, this week we're talking about the new, I don't know if it's an album. Let's call it the new
maybe project.
The new project.
Compilation.
I like project. Yeah, like project. The latest project from O3 Greedo, California's the Wolf of Grape Street. I guess this is his coming out. I think it's just a collection of some of his best tracks and some new stuff. Sort of like the Valet tape we talked about.
Yeah,
exactly. But like the Greedo version, because his mixtapes are normally like 33 to 40 songs. So they were like, all right, we're going to put out something with a non-intimidating length. So they put together this 21 track collection.
Which really doesn't feel like it,
Yeah, no, it doesn't feel like a long album. Especially a lot of the songs are like sub 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yo, but like I think I interrupted you, right? You were gonna say that this is his first like major label quote unquote release.
Yes, I mean, I don't know if he just signed to the label, but they signed him to a $1.7 million deal, as he reported in his interview with Billboard. He shit on Tupac. He's like, Tupac licked my ass. He's one of the worst rappers. I'm the West Coast, bitch. I think that's what he said.
I'm not out here rapping Hennessy with controversy or using the word reminisce like 20 times on an album. You know?
Tupac couldn't sing. It's 2018. Everyone's better now.
You could lick my. Did he really say he can lick my ass?
Nah.
That would be fucking hilarious.
Could.
If he did.
Could lick his ass. For all I care. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, Greedo. It's weird because I haven't been that excited about like new people, but Greedo and Ballet back to back, like this is some great stuff. Yeah, he's a West Coast rapper, but like if you look into it, he's more his favorite rapper is like Lil Boosie, and I think he's more influenced by like the Louisiana stuff, the Billboard stuff. He goes really deep into it, and like how he lives in a neighborhood in California where a lot of people are from Louisiana. It's such a weird culture.
I was curious. I was actually going
mix.
to look into that. Yeah.
A lot of the press in like the like sort of like listen to the new Greedo mixtape, blah blah blah, and they just throw together a quick blurb. They're like the West Coast rapper, blah blah blah, and he's definitely on his like G-Funk, or you know, like they just say like West Coast all the time, and it's like, oh well, I guess he's not really, you know, he talks about wanting to be like the new Gucci. He talks about like No Limit and shit like that,
and like his adoration for a Nelly Furtado record.
Yeah, he has OMB Peasy on here, who I feel like he's the Boozy stand-in, because he kind of sounds like he's also from Baton Rouge. So he the same Billboard, he said like Boozy's his favorite rapper, but Boozy dissed him somehow.
Yeah, like by like something on about a flyer.
Yeah, it sounded stupid. I was like, what the hell? So we got Peasy on here.
Like, and it's also kind of like it's almost like a minor like gripe. Like he had like it's similar to the gripe he has with Timbaland because of something he said in an interview about how like,
oh, did he say like these rappers are rock? These rock?
Always like we don't have producers anymore. We just have beat makers.
Well, Timbaland said that, but did Boozy? Yeah. Did Boozy say something? Did Boozy say something? Oh no,
I think Boozy was just like, I think it was like an act, just the act of like scraping out a name or writing something on a flyer.
Yeah,
for a show they did together.
Yeah, this tape is great though. Because when I was listening to other stuff, everything that I listened to kind of had the same kind of the same cadence, similar to the song that he had with on the DJ Mustard album with Mr. Whatever LA. But this is showcasing a lot more versatility than the stuff I had like before, and that's just probably just because I was like cherry picking what
out here hating.
Yeah, I was probably just cherry picking what stood out immediately to me. But yeah, this shit is so good. And he produces his own stuff sometimes, which is really interesting.
I think a few of like my favorite tracks on this collection are produced by him.
Yeah, Never Bend is one of my favorite songs by him. It's like his biggest one on Spotify, and they repurposed it for this one, and it's produced by him. And what else is produced by him?
He did If I Wasn't Rapping.
Yeah,
which was like one of my favorites. But but now when we're talking about like individual tracks, what would you say is your favorite? Which one of them did you enjoy the most?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was speaking of Rich Gang, because I was reminded by David Drake reposting his review from 4 years ago and talking about how a lot of Young Thug songs prior to that, they would have, you know, the verse would be good or the hook would be good on another song, but it didn't always overlap. As I kept going through this, I kind of like felt that sometimes. Vulture, I loved like the second verse. Also, it didn't help that some of the features weren't the best.
Yeah, well, there's is it on Vultures with a guy who's like who's speaking really loudly.
I think
He
that's
has a voice like this.
I think that's Paranoid.
No, that's Paranoid. Yeah,
Yeah.
the other ones are like all Catchy the Great features.
Yeah.
Who I hadn't heard of prior to the to this project.
Yeah, Catchy's kind of like more like loud, like and wild. I don't know. For some reason, Beat That Thing Down kept getting stuck in my head, even though like I wouldn't call it one of my favorite songs. But when I wasn't listening to it, that one would keep being in my head. But I love Vulture, Paranoid. Yeah. What about you?
Oh man, and I think we were discussing this prior to the recording, but a lot of the songs like I liked were mostly like released in some capacity because I feel like some of the features get lost a little bit. They're not the best in my opinion, but I mean they're interesting, but I don't really feel like a lot of them add a whole lot.
Yeah,
I mean they do,
they
but
don't.
it's
They
just,
don't.
they're not great.
Yeah, I don't think they do add a whole lot. I think the one on Vulture, it's kind of I love that hook, and it's kind of trading off with Catchy. But the other ones that aren't, and Beat That Thing Down too, I think PNB Rock is singing back up on it. But the ones that are less collaborative, that it's just like a verse, it's like, oh, I wish I could skip that. But
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I didn't mind the Beat That Thing Down feature, and I like that one a good amount. But I think my favorite, like probably, it goes back and forth because I love Pop It and I love If I Wasn't Rapping, but I think Substance, I think quickly, like is becoming one of my favorites. If not it's my favorite.
yeah, that one was like real tropical and kind of like, it kind of had like a like avant-garde feel. Like, I don't know, is that the one that had the bongos on it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like really light on the percussion.
Yeah. So this is basically like a collection of some of the best songs, some of the ones that I think they think would be good introductory songs. And one thing that I found pretty interesting on the tape is like how much they paid attention to the tracking, which was interesting. But like after a while, you were like, all right, I don't need it to be that obvious. Like, Substance is paired with Rude, and they're both kind of more like chill songs, like low key. Let's see, what else did I notice? Oh, okay. So this run from like, I think it's from like Paranoid to Vulture. Oh, Vulture to Chase to White Owl is like all animal stuff. And then in the beginning, yeah, so Drippin' sound starts with him saying like, how does it feel to be me? And then the next song, Ballin', how does it feel to be ballin'? And then there's like different like musical takes, like it'll be like, oh, they're both like tinny piano beats. So that was interesting. I mean, it's interesting what they're trying to do here, like make I mean, I just got into Greedo, and I didn't have the time to get into like these 500 songs he has out. So it's kind of interesting how they try to cobble together a cohesive set of songs.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, what that process was like. Yeah, like I want to know if like who had their hands in putting it together, almost like the Valet release, like what was like the intention behind like what songs they chose and what order they have them in. Because I mean, and you make a good point, because even at the end of the record, I mean, starting with For My Dogs, it kind of gets a little bit softer and a little bit more melodic.
Yeah,
and it kind of like all culminates with Substance, and then it kind of goes back into like a lot more upbeat but super melodic tracks, and then it all more or less just ends with Never Bend.
Yeah, I love Never Bend. I mean, there's like different things. Like I have like a favorite verse, a favorite like hook, a favorite like overall song. But I like Never Bend is great for if these walls could spit bars, all their songs would be this hard line. That's so great. It's so metaphysical. It gets beyond like being hood to being like I am the fucking hood, like that deep. I like that attitude there. And it kind of gets to like where I forget if we were talking about it on mic or not, but just how committed he is to like his authenticity.
Well, yeah, because he's constantly, you know, well, he has like two friends that, you know, were, you know, murdered, and it's like pretty public knowledge. And then he always talks about his leg and it having almost been amputated. But he's like pretty, I mean, yeah, he's like, he's pretty adamant about making it known. And he's, which is part of why he goes and disses Tupac, you know?
Yeah, because Tupac's an actor.
Because he's an actor. And
actor,
he was.
Yeah, and the Pitchfork review by Paul A. Thompson has a lot of great like info, as well as the Billboard interview where he disses Tupac. But yeah, that has a lot of great like context, you know, like the Grape Street Crips and all that. I love that line. I would have to look through my notes now, but like the one that like encapsulates that is like, he's like, oh, saying that they gang bang. Which gang? It was like so funny to me because it was like insistent. So I'm like, you gang bang? Which bang? Which gang?
Gang. But in I think it's an LA Weekly interview, he mentions how he makes music that's emo for gangbangers, and I know that you had responded, but I had like tweeted, you know, asking if I had been overstepping my boundaries by calling O3 Greedo like a more hood T-Pain. And like after reading that in that particular article, I felt a little bit like, you know, like validated in a sense. Because he does like, you know, he has other influences. He talks about how he's like influenced by melodies of Sade and like Erykah Badu and shit. And
yeah,
and Blink 182, you know, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's influenced. He listened to Panic at the Disco as a kid. Yeah. So
I was like, I was watching an interview, and I was kind of hoping we'd get something similar to like Kevin Gates singing Blink 182, like he did in that Pitchfork video that he did that like went viral. But no, and then after that, you had asked me about some T-Pain songs off the Epiphany records. Did you listen to any of them?
I didn't get to listen to the T-Pain stuff to
you piece of
compare.
Shit. You piece of shit. Anyway, well, I was going to ask if you felt like.
No, I definitely feel that.
And he also has like a similar voice too.
Yeah.
Like he has that weird nasally nerdy voice, which I can totally relate to.
From what I recall, I mean, T-Pain's in my blood. I don't need to study him.
We've all heard "Buy You a Drink."
Yeah. A lot of this though, I mean, I kind of get like why. Yeah, his rapping style. I mean, so you were saying that one of the songs you weren't getting into, right, was "Look at Me Now."
Yeah.
Because I mean, I could see that because it kind of has. It's kind of the.
It's like the most straightforward, like solo track he has on the entire project.
Well, I was going to say it's the most freestyling kind of like just kind of like rambly song that he has, but you can tell throughout that he's freestyling in a lot of songs, but that one you kind of hear it more and it's kind of more meandering. It sounds like he just had that hook. He just had that like "Look at Me Now" a part.
Yeah, and that I think that's part of why I didn't like it. Yeah,
but
I just the chorus. I don't know. It just seemed like too simple, you know. And it might have been like, you know, put together during a time of excitement, you know, regarding his label deal, and ultimately, you know, he talks about coming up in that song, but I feel like, especially between like when you follow up, what is it? It comes before or after Run for Your Life, which is a great song too. And it's just super out of place in my opinion, because I know it like comes before a lot of like the more like hard hitting, like more straightforward like tracks that have all the features on it. But it just seemed like less put together and I wouldn't be surprised if he did freestyle like the majority of that song, if not all, outside of the chorus, of course.
Yeah, but I feel like the freestyling stylings is like part of part of why maybe some people might say that he's not. I know I see like David Drake a lot. Shout out to David Drake for the second time today. Talking a lot about how other critics would say that like Greedo is not for everyone because he's kind of so idiosyncratic, and I feel like maybe that comes through in those verses where it's very like obvious that it's off the dome.
Yeah. Well, also, now that I'm like sitting here and thinking about it, like while it may be like one of my least favorite tracks on the project, it also like projects like very effectively the energy that he's probably feeling or the vibe he's trying to put across, because it does contain within it a lot of energy. It's just overall like, because I'm so like enamored with his like abilities to like employ like really interesting melodies and just stuff I wouldn't expect him to use, which is I think part of my like adoration for him as an artist, if you will.
Yeah, I think it gets across like how overflowing he is with like ideas. This kind of made me think this, and maybe like Valet and I don't know, like revisiting some Chief Keef stuff kind of made me want to make maybe like a taxonomy or like a study of like what a rapper sounds like when he's at the top of his game and like everything is just coming out I don't want to say perfectly, but like stuff is coming out like not fully formed. I don't know. Do you know like when they're just like going in like on so many songs, when someone's just at the top of their powers? I feel like that's where he is here. There's a certain like rhythm to the way like stuff comes out where I feel like they're rapping about something, but you can tell they have more on their mind and they have more to say. Whereas like sometimes you're listening to stuff and you're like, all right, they have nothing more to say. Like this is it. Like this is the best they fucking got. Whereas when you're listening to someone blacking out on the track and it's just like going crazy, like early Future, it's kind of like, oh, there's like more there. So that's what I liked about. So kind of like Look at Me Now, like you have like all that freestyling, and then you have like talking about like his friends who died and same age as my daddy died. Like I'm talking about this shit, but like I'm thinking about some other shit too, and I got some other shit that I'm thinking about.
I'm not the Joker, man. I don't like chaos, dude.
Yeah.
And I think you've probably noticed that by now. Like I'm a big fan of like pop structure.
Right. Beethoven's interesting. I wonder if anyone would take that as a diss to be like, so like that song is like
this guy's my Metro Boomin.
Yeah, Beat Boy. So the most of this is produced by Beat Boy and Ron the producer, and some of the songs are them together. And if they bring on another producer, I notice like sometimes they would have another producer, and then it would say like co-producing credits with Beat Boy and Ron the producer, which to me probably just means like someone else gave him a beat and then he was like, all right, you guys like Greedo this shit. But yeah, he was like, Beat Boy, that's my Metro Boomin, and Ron is Beethoven, I guess. Yeah, I wouldn't take that as a diss if I lived in Atlanta or anything though. It's like, oh, this guy is
like at that point, like you're responding to the what was it Kendrick that did the big diss song that everybody like got freaked out about?
Oh, the one where he said he was like the greatest rapper.
Yeah. It's like almost like taking that as an offense. It's just like clearly he's stating his like status, like he's stating where he is in the game at this point.
Well, he's
and
also
it's not necessarily like a diss, but it's also like a flex.
Yeah, I mean he's also like stating his ambitions, but also like admiration too, because I think like there's like a lot of beats on here, including which one did I say? Like I thought If I Wasn't Rapping, I thought that was like sounded like a Zaytoven song, or like Bando, which is basically like a rip off of a Zaytoven song. The other one, which one was the other one that he produced?
He did If I Wasn't Rapping.
Oh, okay.
And I think he actually did Run for Your Life too, I think.
Okay, yeah, whichever one had like that flute, I was like, oh, okay, this is like,
Oh, that's if I wasn't rapping.
yeah. That one was like, right, yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's just so fucking good.
Yeah, that run from like 100 bands to Vulture is really good. The end with like Substance, and Never Bend is great, and the beginning too. It's a really good tape.
The length of the project was well managed. Whoever managed to piece this together should go through a few records that were released within the past year and do some work, or maybe perhaps provide some quality control duties.
I mean, that's
in some
probably
major
also
studios.
just to it probably helps to just be able to choose from like 3 or 4 different
literally
records,
hundreds of songs.
Yeah, and choose like the best stuff. Like, whereas like if he had to make an album, you might not get all this heat, which is what the predicament a lot of rappers find themselves in. And I wonder if there's a better. It'd be we were trying to have like a guest on, but it'd be good. It'd be interesting to go through the discography and see if there is a better 20-track album you can make from his discography. Maybe, I don't know. What else let me just look through my notes and see if there was anything important. Oh yeah, so yeah, before we started I was just singing like For My Dogs, just because it was like there's like
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I love like just thinking about these songs and doing like the little I was singing Safety earlier. Keep that pistol off, safety. Like it's so fun to like sing this shit. Yeah, so yeah, looking forward to more Wolf of or more looking forward to more Greedo then. I think that
3.
As always, check out all our shit. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Tell your friends about it.
Look, stay tuned for upcoming Stitch Gang YouTube content.
Hey, this is a post-recording note from Frank. I actually did end up doing my God's Plan reaction video, but I didn't have much of a reaction, and then I had technical difficulties with the audio, so I decided to scrap it. But hopefully we get some YouTube content out there soon, and it'll act as our audition tapes, basically, to become complex needs correspondence, which is the ultimate goal of this podcast. We shall see you next week. I think we're doing Trouble, Edgewood. And we're also planning on talking about the Cardi B album eventually. Peace.